welcome to Paranormal XL Podcast. Gigi here, and we have special co-host for the next few episodes. We will be covering states A through Z, most haunted locations. Our amazing guest co-host is Ed, or E-double-D, from Ghost N Grub. Welcome to the show as a co-host, Ed.
Very excited to be here. We got 50 things to talk about that, might go longer than 4 episodes, but heck, I'm here and I'm ready to talk about some of these amazing locations that we might have been to and definitely on the list. I was going through the list when you sent it to me. I was like, we are definitely going to most of these. And then some of them, actually, I will most humbly say I didn't even know about.
So I know some of I would have been like, really?
Right.
But that's one reason why I wanted to do this, because we hit, Salem. So you think every place I'm just throwing that out there because we both love it there. And I've never even been there, but I want to say I wanted to bring light to the places that aren't really well known as far as having paranormal activity and the history and stuff of them. So to see some of these, I was like, wow, I thought, it would have been this.
It's funny with Salem. Obviously, we just wrapped filming there, and it is very unique. A lot of people obviously know it for the obvious, the Salem witch trials. And although with that history, the hauntings that are there, they don't really, even the ghost tours with the people we've talked to don't really talk about the hauntings that are happening along the strip. Yes, the tours do talk about it, but they don't talk about the actual hauntings that take place in almost in every store there and almost every house in that area. Right. And we got to investigate a lot of that. We picked up a lot of stuff, but it was just a quick plug for a couple of the stores like Why Nots or the Magic Parlor that are there are insanely active, and I can't wait to share with you some of our experiences there. But yeah, a lot of these stops on this list are just like that, where they're hole in the walls, but they're more active than a lot of your mainstream places.
Oh, absolutely. And those are the places like I want to visit. Like I printed this off. I looked at it. I was like, okay, I have my new bucket list, my paranormal bucket list. This is it.
Yeah. I mean, self-made, and I've got my list here digitally, and I'm going to be looking at it with you. I'm stoked. So
yes.
All
right, don't make me spit coffee everywhere. So we will jump in. Our plan is to cover A through F, maybe more, maybe less. It depends on how in depth we want to be. So How this is going to go, we are going to read the stories that follow these locations, and we're going to discuss them a little bit, and we'll see how it flows. So
cool.
I'll go first.
Yes. I like your style.
Love it.
Show speaking in tongues. All right. Well,
that's what I do. That's what I do. So start with A, of course, Alabama. So Sloss Furnaces opened from 1882 to 1971. This National Historic Landmark in Birmingham was once world's largest manufacturer of pig iron. Though this achievement came at a cost, working conditions at the plant were miserable, particularly from 1900 to 1906 under the reign of graveyard shift foreman James Slag Wormwood. Wormwood pushed his workers to take dangerous risks to speed up production. 47 of the workers died during his reign, while many were injured. The foreman himself died by falling into a pool of molten steel, and his spirit is said to have lingered. Workers complained of an unnatural presence at the plant, and as well as being pushed from behind or told to get back to work by a mysterious voice. All in all, more than 100 reports of suspected paranormal activity at the Sloss Furnaces have been recorded by the Birmingham police. Wow. So they've actually called the police on these.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. And there's where my mind goes, especially in day and age where pop culture is all about superheroes. You would think if you fell into a pot of molten steel, you come out some like either a villain or a superhero.
Iron Man.
You come out and you're like Uber Dad. You go back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm aware of that.
Yes. Wow.
47 people that perished, that lost their lives there. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there were 2 investigations, including one from, one of the famous ones, famous investigating teams out there that have been there.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's trying to think if this one is the same one where, no, but you know what? There's a plant down the road that's just as haunted. That's what I'm confusing it with. That's actually eerie. That is actually eerie. I wonder if they allow investigations of the place.
that's something. See, that's why you always have a pen handy, especially when you're recording, because you come up with questions, and that would be something to look into.
I think
So,
that's a majority of these. I
yeah.
think that as we go through, we need to say, hey, can people investigate this location? Or no, it's private property.
Right.
Yeah, because it's interesting that the police are keeping patrol there, and who exactly is calling the police? So, as an investigator, I'm thinking about these things now. So,
Yes.
is it like the police are hanging out, or is there like a neighborhood around it? Is there a house, or is just somebody
Right.
walking their dog, and there's this giant steel figure? It's like, go back to work. You
Yeah,
know,
right. And you're gonna
an
call
abandoned building.
911.
Right. Yeah, I got this giant chrome man yelling at me.
I don't think he's real.
He's shiny, but he's see-through.
Yeah, exactly. See, they'd be bringing you the wrong bus. They're going to be bringing that bus with the straight jacket and coming to get you.
Oh, exactly.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
you got it, sir. We're on our way.
be careful.
Right.
So you go.
Okay, so Maple Hill Cemetery, which is still in Alabama, in Huntsville. Oh, sure, the actual cemetery here is creepy and all, but it's the playground that really gets you. In 1985, somebody decided to open the playground adjacent to Huntsville oldest cemetery, presumably to give the children of mourning parents some some respite to relax. In other words, instead, it appears that the resident ghosts are one of the ones enjoying it the most. People report seeing orbs of light going down the slide in an unaccompanied swing that's moving. Unaccompanied disembodied gigglings, adding to the eeriness. Some locals believe that the victims of the rash of child murders in the 60s were buried nearby. Their spirits now have internal play dates with the cemetery's official residents.
Oh.
I think we've all seen like videos on Reels and on YouTube and on Instagram of like just these swings going back and forth of them.
And just one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the wind. Like right there, that one swing, it's the wind. And you know how it's not exactly easy to get those the giant wheels that the kids will, jump on. Those just don't spin on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're heavy because they're generally up there with like the heavy, oh my gosh, chains or whatever. So it is heavy.
No, it is heavy, but it's just a straight slack swing too. When you look at these, it's not like a bounce that it possibly is the wind. It's only one swing, and there seems to be some sort of weight because those chains are not slack. They're tension there, right? So that is very, very, very creepy. I like the fact that it was made there to be there for the right reasons, right? I just never thought
absolutely.
that. Yeah, kids, by the way, your mom's dead and your dad's dead too, but we got this really, really cool swing here you're gonna like.
We talked about this, I think the first year of the podcast, actually, because I have pictures somewhere of this. Very, very odd. I would have never have thought to put a playground right next to a graveyard or cemetery. But like you said, it was there for the right reasons. However, bringing up the fact of child murders in the 60s, that in a playground would be a perfect trigger, whole place, just not one object, a trigger location for children spirits, I would think.
Yeah, and of course that's not where their mind is going, but that's what inadvertently it turned to. So definitely one of the lists to check down. I am taking a note on that because it's actually not too far from me.
Whatever.
Right. It's not that bad. Huntsville is not but a 2-hour drive for me.
Oh man!
I just gave away my location.
You did? Oh no!
2-hour radius of Huntsville. We'll find them.
Hunt him down.
Okay, so we're still in the A's, but we're going from one end of the country to the other.
Yes. I'm like, yes, and you have to go through Canada.
Yes. Yeah, definitely do. Yeah, there you go. Pass on through. All right.
Alaska. Red Onion Saloon, established in 1898, the Red Onion Saloon in Skagway was a popular brothel during the Klondike Gold Rush, and today it's said to be haunted by one of the women who worked there, known as Lydia. The resident ghost has reportedly been spotted running down a hall into a room once occupied by the madam. Others claim to have smelled her perfume or to have experienced extreme cold spots. The Red Onion Saloon offers a ghost and good time girls walking tour, which gives a guest, oh my gosh. This is why I record, so I can go back and edit all that out. The Red Onion Saloon offers Ghost and Good Time Girls Walking Tour, which gives guests a closer look at an establishment's history. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Okay. With this one, Alaska alone, could you imagine just like the gold rush locations and stuff like that, all the buildings and stuff with all the history, and how many places must have like these spirits just hanging out
Yeah, I mean,
there?
Alaska can be a 10-part series on its own.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
It absolutely could be. Things with even like the Alaska Triangle, right? You could even go
Yes.
down the line of cryptids if you wanted to. A mountain. There's a lot there. In fact, it looks like this was there's a couple. Looks like actually we have 3 on this list, if I'm not mistaken. But no, it's 2. I'm sorry. It is not just on our to-do list. It is a what I call a red label item on our list to investigate, because there's a lot there, and we'll just say that we've got a lot of locations to film out next year. We're just wrapping all the filming and editing for what we've done, but Alaska in the Red Onion Saloon, not on our list particularly, but I am aware of it. We have heard the stories, and this has been investigated before.
Okay.
Yeah, so good find. I don't know of anybody personally that's been there, but I am curious about the Ghost and Good Time Girls walking tour.
Oh yeah. See, hard to say, right?
Well, I am curious because you'll be with the Ghost walking tour. It's the Ghost and Good Time Girls walking tour
At a brothel. So I don't know. It could be anything. It could go in any direction.
Yes. For the sake of incriminating myself, I'm not going to say anything more.
Let me know how that works out for you.
I appreciate it. It's going to slip up one day. So next on our list is the Alaskan Hotel in Juneau. Fun fact for the more you know moment here, Juneau is the most northern capital in the United States. The most famous ghost to roam the halls of the Alaska's oldest operating hotel is that of a gold miner's wife who lived here while waiting for her husband to return. I'll be back. When he didn't, she began supporting herself by working as a prostitute until he did return. Not exactly thrilled with her new career choice. Indeed, didn't work out. He killed her, and now guests and staff regularly report encounters. No, not like that. With her ghosts. I like the writing there, by the way. I know the hotel. This is actually one of the ones, when I saw this is one of the ones on our list.
Okay.
I wasn't aware that he actually came back and killed her.
Look, yeah, he wasn't thrilled. So he's like, look, I'm not thrilled with you being a prostitute and being a whore, that I'm just going to kill you now because I'm not thrilled. And then he moved on.
And if anybody knows AC/DC, it's shoot to thrill. So he's not thrilled.
He's not.
That's awful. I apologize.
It's awful. Well, sometimes you got to bring the lighter side to it.
Well, yeah, you do, and we do that. But I'd say it is very dark. I am curious on what other activity is stemming there. There's more to this place than what's on the list here, or what's on.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because typically when something tragic like that happens, it tends up bringing other things with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Can't wait to do that. So still in the A's, but now just like a AAA battery, we got to hit that third one, and we're going to make our way back over. And technically we almost made a triangle in a way.
You have a thing with triangles, I've noticed.
I don't. You're the one who built this list.
You talked about triangles the last time.
I know. Well, I know, because you had the Bridgewater Triangle up in Massachusetts, which we're trying to. Then you got Bermuda Triangle, which is like the granddaddy of triangles. And then you got the Alaska Triangle, and now you got the XL Paranormal Triangle, apparently, that consists of Alabama, Alaska, and Arizona. And now this. See? Triangle.
That is weird. I don't even know what that green thing was.
Well, on my end, it was a green screen.
My green screen is like underneath. Like I have an actual green screen.
No, I mean, quite literally, your screen you turn green.
Yeah, I know. It was weird.
Yeah, odd.
Anyway,
all right.
We might go on. Maybe she's coming through here. No visits right now. Okay, so Arizona. Yay. Now, Yuma Territorial Prison.
Okay.
Yuma Territorial Prison held more than 3,000 murderers, thieves, and other criminals during its 33 years in operation. From 1876 to 1909, more than 100 of whom died on the premises. Guides have reported a chill near cell number 14, where a prisoner named John Ryan committed suicide. Another unsettling spot is known as the Dark Cell, where disruptive inmates were held in isolation. While no one is known to have died in the Dark Cell, 2 inmates were transferred to an insane asylum shortly after being released. Visitors to Yuma Territorial Prison can get a closer look at the cell blocks, guard tower, and more.
Yeah, we haven't done a prison one yet, but from everything that I do know and have seen, it's got to happen. It has to happen. I don't know how we do Ghost N Grub in a prison. I mean, do we get Uber Eats before we start an investigation?
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's what we do. Yeah, this is the most haunted driver in the world.
You need to go to the Ohio State Reformatory. That prison is amazing in the history. I'm gonna keep telling you that until it happens.
Maybe you could join us.
Well, I will be there in March for the they do the Parapsychon there.
Yeah, I remember you telling me. Okay.
So much fun.
I'm surprised we didn't have more for Arizona on the list.
Hey, I was trying to keep it shorter.
No, but there's a lot in Arizona, as you know, and I have not heard of this prison, but I mean, and this is where I can't say that I don't believe that they didn't see anything in there. But you put yourself into a dark cell in solitary confinement. It doesn't really talk about how long they were in there, right? They're going to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you leave them in there for longer than 60 days in the pure darkness.
Well, right. Yes. Okay. So back in those, it was between 1876 and 1909. So
yeah,
they're probably literally laying on dirt and between cold rock walls.
Yep. Yeah, you can't see anything. Their mind is going to get away from them. So could it be paranormal? Absolutely. But my thing is that it could have released the energy from that, and other things are now feeding off of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So in completing our triangle, we're going to cut back this way across, and by this way, depending on how you see the world, back over to Arkansas. Arkansas. I did not have Arkansas. So, all right. So we're going to go with, I'll do this one. So the Crescent Hotel. It's located in Eureka Springs. The Crescent Hotel, one of America's most luxurious resorts, when opened in 1886. Ooh. But it closed in the 1930s due to tough economic times in 1937. So the fall of Wall Street. And it was purchased by Norman Baker and converted to Baker's Cancer Curing Hospital. Baker had no medical training, but he did stay at a Holiday Inn. And and is reportedly groundbreaking cancer treatments were in fact a scam. Imagine that.
I've had no professional training. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Saw me this pen. And supposedly the groundbreaking treatments were in fact a scam. Today, the hotel has been restored to its original grandeur. That's a fun word. But Baker's patients and other spirits are still said to haunt the property. Common ghost sightings include Theodora, a patient who fumbles with her keys outside of her room, 419, and Michael, an Irish stonemason who fell to his death while building the hotel. Nightly ghost tours end at the morgue.
Of course they do.
Yeah, why not? Every hotel has to have a morgue.
The ending is the morgue. The ending to anything is the morgue.
Get me if this hotel doesn't have a morgue. Still intact, the hospital is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. Very exciting. It is like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1. You get a morgue, you get a hospital, you get a hotel, and you can stay there too. So,
best thing ever.
Right.
I go on Yelp and leave it a review.
Right. Yeah. There was this transparent woman fumbling with her keys. You see, they kept falling through her hands, not out, through. And I got this old Irish guy yelling at me about who fell. I can see through him. 5-star.
5 stars. And we get to hang out in the morgue.
So this is the Crescent Hotel. Can you imagine being like a bellhop there and giving directions to the room? Yes, Miss Gigi, your room is right down the way. Here's your keys. I hope you enjoy your stay. The elevators, two rooms down to the left, down the hallway, past the morgue, ignore the morgue, and up the elevator to floor 13. Enjoy your stay. Don't talk to the transparent people.
Huh.
So,
There are so many of these I want to like just delve deeper in, but I'll never get out of that rabbit hole.
oh no, there's absolutely no way. There's no way.
But how fun! How fun! I want to go to Arkansas.
yeah,
That was
the
never on
Crescent,
my list before,
the Crescent Hotel in Arkansas.
and I want to stay in the morgue. I wonder how much the bed rental is there in the morgue.
I don't know. I'm sure the
It's just
prices
a
would die for.
metal.
Ah.
So funny. Oh, it's my turn.
Yes.
Oh, another hotel in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Sorry, Arkansas. The Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs. This grand century old hotel is a paragon of such big words for me. Sorry. Is a paragon of ornate luxury, so much that you'd probably choose to stay a while if you were a ghost too. History weighs on the place, as well as your mind. 4 presidents have stayed here, plus Babe Ruth and Al Capone. Outside, the old-timey light lamps guide your walk through the downtown spring-fed spas that draw visitors to this resort town. Echoing against stone buildings and set against the backdrop of steep, icky forest, even the burbling fountains sound ghostly and ominous. Wow, that was a struggle for me.
I actually just want to go there for the fountains now.
I know, right? And
I mean, does it sound like an old toilet? Is that what we're describing here? Like it's burbling, it's ghostly. Listen to that water.
Well, if
very
it's
eerie water.
Well, if it's got the hot springs, yeah, they stink. Hot springs stink.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. I have a hot spring myself, and it smells.
But yeah, there wasn't much ghosts there, I guess. But the history of it is awesome with the 4 presidents and Babe Ruth and Al Capone.
Right.
I bet it's pretty. I definitely want to get pictures of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's more historical, which I mean, it's all historical. It's just
Absolutely
paranormal activity or not.
Right.
Very, very cool. But this next one is near and dear to my heart, and because it's one of the ones that got me into paranormal investigating, and I remember watching shows about this ship, and hence why I like investigating haunted ships. And
well, you're welcome for this one.
Oh, I'm very excited about this one because this is the mothership.
The mothership
of haunted ships. Yes. And I'm talking about the Queen Mary. So the Queen Mary is docked in Long Beach, California. So that is definitely one of the ones on our list to do in the next coming year. So y'all know. Embarking on her maiden voyage in 1936, the elegant Queen Mary carried some of the world's most prominent people, from Winston Churchill to Clark Gable, but in 1940, the liner was stripped of her luxuries and retrofitted to be a World War II troop ship. Known as the Grey Ghost for her muted color, after the war, the Queen Mary was converted back to a passenger ship and eventually retired service in 1967. Today, she's docked in the Long Beach area and serves as a floating hotel. But some ghosts of her past are said to remain. Visitors have reported seeing a lady in white, an engineer who died in the engine room, and several children in 1930s era garb. Guests of the Queen Mary can partake in several haunted tours and special events.
Amazing.
This place has been so well documented for a very, very long time. It is up there. It is top 10 of most haunted locations in the United States consistently. What is there to be said about the Queen Mary that hasn't been said already? Maybe a little bit more about her maritime merit, possibly, when she, she was at war. At war. But outside of that, a lot of people already know about her. But the hauntings. The thing is, I've heard some poltergeist activity. I've obviously a ton of apparitions, disembodied voices, children in clothing in 1930 era clothing. But outside of that, I haven't heard of scratches. I haven't really heard of attacks. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It very well could happen. But all in all, the activity that's there, and you think about one of the biggest conduits for paranormal activity for energy is water.
Right.
So And a couple of the ships that we have investigated, the lower that we got into the ship, and I'll share this with you. We went on to the USS Salem,
Of course
and
you did.
when we were on the Salem, we got to go down to the morgue in the ship, and that is at the very bottom of the ship.
Right.
Which is right through the water. Now, they normally would store food in the freezers, but these became morgues. And let me tell you, yes, the closer you are to the water, creepier things get. The activity is insane. And I can't wait to do the same on the Queen Mary.
Oh, most definitely. Now, I do have a question. Okay, what is your take on the Lady in White? Not necessarily just on the Queen Mary, but people in general with some of these most haunted locations or claimed most haunted locations. People say they've seen a lady in white. What is your take on the Lady in White? What do you think she is?
I think it's the way that these spirits, these people personify themselves after they're dead. I don't know if it signals where they are, what it means. Is it mourning? Is it loss? Does it signify something? Because the Lady in White goes back a very long time. And a lot of people said, for one example, there's a story of a girl up in North Carolina that was on a date night and tragically died in a car wreck. And now people report seeing her on the side of the road asking for rides back to her house. And she's dressed all in white, and then we got stories of the Lady in Blue and Lady in White in Salem. We've got the same things down here in Georgia, in Savannah, the Lady in White in the cemeteries. So yeah, I think it's more or less that it signifies something. It could be sorrow. It could be law. I don't know. If you know, then either you know something I don't, or yeah, I don't want to say anything negative. I don't know how to personify that, and why is it white? Why isn't it just transparent?
Well, most definitely. I mean, but it all comes down to your opinion on it, how you feel, or your take, or goes even to your religion following as to what it is. See, I think, and Mama Mary, my co-host for the show, we've talked about this and what we think that she is, because usually people will see her generally, at least up here with the stories, it's in a cemetery or shortly after somebody has died tragically in an accident. See, I think it's like an angel of comfort when you see her. That's my personal thing. If I was to ever see her, that's what I would take her as.
Which is very cool. Unless I'm in a hallway by myself and she looks at me and turns towards me and I'm like, you're here for comfort. You're here for comfort. You're here for comfort. You're here for comfort.
Of course I'll take a hug.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just something I like to ask people that are into this or have seen the Lady in White. What is
I have not personally seen a Lady in White. We interviewed a ton of people that have, and I do believe them. It's just a matter of time. But
absolutely.
But it's just why?
There's a cemetery up here. I want to say it has to do with military, but there's a lady in red, and I've never heard of a lady in red until I stumbled onto this story. I've just grazed this story. It's one on my list that I want to get more into, but it was a lady in red, and that's what I've heard. The Lady in Blue, Lady in White, but never in red.
That's unique. That is very unique. And of course there's a restaurant up in Salem, the Rockefellers actually, and up there that has the Lady in Blue in their basement. That's routinely seen there. So there's some history behind if you guys want to look at that place, but that was pretty cool too.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
All those places are cool.
So, all right. So next on our list, you've got Turnbull Canyon, which I am also familiar with this because we are putting out a series on areas out west, and we're still writing it and where we're going to go and what we're going to do. So very excited about that in the works.
I'm like, ooh, get with me after the recording. I just went out west. Well, not just, but 2 years ago.
Okay.
Right after Rona hit. And there was some awesome locations. I wish I would have had somebody that I had a great time with my husband. That sounds horrible. But being into what I'm into, I had to bypass a lot of awesome opportunities. And I'm like, I want to go there. But
no,
there
I
are
get it.
Definitely some awesome, places you definitely need to go. Anyway, so Turnbull Canyon, California is packed with terrifying places, from cult compounds to famous murder sites, haunted hotels, and mysterious mansions. But none of them come with the promise of a brisk, scenic hike. Turnbull Canyon offers a 4-mile hike through the sprawling into hills. Keep an eye out for the sweeping city views and the ghost of 29 people who perished here in a plane crash in the 50s. and the ghosts of children who, according to legend, were taken from a nearby orphanage and used in ritualistic sacrifices, and the ghost of the teen who found some old electric shock equipment from the canyon's burnt down asylum and fried his brain despite the sight of having no power. Let's see, the burned down asylum, the UFO sightings, rumors of multiple cults. No wonder the natives call it words.
Hutanaga.
Yeah, that's what I said. Or the place of the devil. So yeah, enjoy that hike. That has a lot going on.
Reminds you of a couple of places, doesn't it? A lot like Skinwalker Ranch, a couple of ranches out there, Devil's Peak. That's why it's on our list, because of that activity that's there.
So much. And
Oh,
different
yeah.
types of activity, like you would get different feelings, like being an empath and stuff, just going out there, let alone with your equipment.
So one thing that I am discovering about being an empath, as you know, I'm journeying. As you know, I'm still relatively new to this, and I actually relatively am very new. But as I'm going to these places, I'm starting to decipher differences in energy, not just entities, but energies in general,
Exactly.
and what they draw from. So that in itself is unique. I am very curious on what these properties in these areas hold, you know, because of what they're doing in terms of multiple activities. So you've got UFO sightings, you've got Bigfoot sightings, you've got paranormal activity, you've got orbs, you've got poltergeist activity. There are a ton of different things that are happening routinely that it's all in one spot. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. What's drawing it there?
What is drawing it? Why are there so many hotbeds that are particularly more out west? Even the Alaska Triangle, you know. So it's just like it's out there. There's a lot of things that are going on that we still don't understand, and that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Absolutely. And another thing, with you traveling around, I don't know if you know anything about ley lines, but doing a map of the ley lines and whatnot, like through America as you're going to these places. So like up where I am by Yankee Springs, it's we got a crap ton of lakes here, as anybody knows, but there's a place called Devil's Soup Boat where you hike back there or whatever, but that's where like all the ley lines meet, and there was lots of stories that go behind like what happens out there, and this is just in the middle of the woods.
Okay.
But that's something I've always wanted to do. I just haven't taken the time to map out the ley lines of all these different places to see how many cross over, to see where they link together, like if it is means something, you know, if they correlate all together. If that makes
Have you
any
investigated
sense.
there before?
Have I? No. I cannot run fast enough out of the woods, so therefore I do not go in very far.
I don't blame you. Okay, so we're still in the C's, and I don't know if we're gonna make it to F or not, but
That's all right.
Yeah, we've got a lot, which is awesome. So we're in Connecticut, where I was just north of there, but we're gonna make a stop at the Mark Twain House, which is pretty cool. Now a National Historic Landmark, the Hartford residence was once home to the author Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain, and his family from 1874 to 1891. Penning some of his most well-known works here, including The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. That's pretty cool. The author called some of his happiest and productive years of his life. However, after daughter Susie died of meningitis in 1896, the Clemens family was too heartbroken to continue living in the house and sold it. Today, the home is maintained as a museum and said to be haunted by a lady in white. In October, visitors can see for themselves during the graveyard shift ghost tours, filled with haunted history, dark tales, and Victorian traditions. These nighttime tours are as educational as they are goosebump inducing.
Ooh. There goes the lady in white. She travels all over the place.
What I'm saying, that's what I believe it could be sorrow. I mean, if we look at a common theme here between all the ladies in whites, is it sorrow? Is it mourning? Is that you would think? I mean, car wreck, Queen Mary, all the things that have happened here. Very, very interesting, but a part of Americana. I would definitely visit, not even just for the paranormal aspect, just the historical aspect.
Oh, right. A lot of these because I don't want to take away, like I want to be able to enjoy the history part of it and enjoy the architecture and stuff. Then you get so caught up in the paranormal stuff or fiddling with your cameras and stuff that you do miss. And being an empath, you can walk in and experience all that without losing anything with
Oh, absolutely.
cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be an awesome place to visit. So do you want to do one more, or I'll do one more and then we'll
I can do one more if you can. It's up to you.
all right. Well, we'll finish Connecticut. I'll do the Curtis House.
Okay.
And then next time we'll start off with Delaware.
All right, sweet.
Delaware. All right, Connecticut, Curtis House Inn in Woodbury. Gordon Ramsay once featured Connecticut's oldest inn on his appropriately titled reality show Hotel Hell, bringing a paranormal investigator to corroborate what locals and visitors have been claiming for centuries: the joint's haunted. Ramsay's unsettling difficulty exiting his room during a 5-day stay could have been due to faulty hardware, but try telling that to the guests who've reported disembodied voices, mysterious footsteps, and unwelcome otherworldly bedfellowers. That's weird. Throughout the inn's 265-year history, apparent entities are believed to be the former inn owners, guests, and perhaps most terrifying for anyone who works here, former employees who clocked in but never clocked out.
Yeah, they took a play out of Hotel California's book. That's pretty crazy. That ghost is raw. It's I do want to visit the place. Never was on the list, but seeing this is not the first time I've heard of it, but it's it's right. It's not too terribly far from from Massachusetts.
Right.
Definitely probably worth the haul to check it out, stay a couple of nights and see, because with the restaurant that they have there, it'd be a perfect good food review.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let alone to be in a building that is 265 years old and like still standing. Like I think that's pretty awesome.
Well, there was a lot like the Warren Tavern where it got my start. I mean, it was built before 1775, but the British burned it down, but they rebuilt it in 1775 and it's been operating since. So I love this stuff. All right, I'm writing that down. Now, if you want, we're right at Florida, unless you want to pick up at Delaware next time.
We can pick up at Delaware next time. I'm good with that.
Cool.
Keep it kind of shorter so we don't lose our audience with listening.
Yeah. No. This is great stuff. It's very insightful. It's what I call rabbit hole.
For sure.
Because we can go down the line and talk about a lot of things, but all in all, these are some amazing locations that we have that we talked about today that you can definitely check out. It looks like a large majority of them do allow tours and ghost hunts, and I'm sure to find out more, cool tool called Google and get in contact with them and see if we can get in there. But it's my favorite one. What was your favorite one today?
It would be, hold on.
Put you on the spot.
The first one was kind of interesting, like with the 47 workers.
Yeah.
And the prison, because I have this thing now with the older prisons. However, the energy there isn't always kind, and it can make you very sick if you don't set your boundaries, beforehand. But the history of them, and that prisons have so many stories to tell if you like stories.
Absolutely.
You just have to be able to walk in, open your mind, and be willing to listen.
So my two is definitely the last one was Curtis Inn, because it has reported history from all staff. It does have a restaurant which matches our genre. Yeah. And it's consistent across the board on the history. I mean, 267 years of history, and my feeling is with these places, they got a story to tell on their own. And then in a very close second would be the Turnbull Canyon, which we're already going to.
Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Those are my two picks. I wonder what everybody else's is. Definitely, let us know what they are.
Yeah, and if anybody's been to these locations,
1,000%. If you've been there, please let us know what your experiences were and what your thoughts were.
Heck yeah. So, okay, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can get on the gram, on Instagram, and you can go to Ghost N Grub, which is Ghost, the letter N and Grub. You actually can look us up now on YouTube. We're starting to upload our first episodes coming in mid-January. Very excited about that. We will have this is actually new. We will have a website launching soon as well. Just some fun stuff we're coming out with, and also my email, and that would be ed or info at ghostandgrub.com. So
Awesome.
many ways to get in touch with me if need be.
Yes. And you can email me or the show at paranormalxl@rightme.com. And remember, stay kind, stay humble, and don't yuck someone else's yum.
Ever.